Hi, I'm Phil Dispenza, and this is Collecting, Investing, or Somewhere in Between. We're back with deals and steals for the month of March. And it's not quite over. There's 3 more days in March, but I don't plan on buying anything. If I win something on eBay or something, I'm not going to get it till April anyway. So I'm going to close it out here. I only made 2 purchases for my collectibles videos that I got other things like little furniture and things, but I'm not going to include that. Get cheap. But I only picked up 2 purchases. One was yesterday, and I'll get to that in a second because I want to cover. There's one of the antique stores here in town. It's a pretty big one. They're closing up shop, so they're selling stuff at least half off. And I'm digging through his records. He's got a whole bunch of different things. He's got comics, he's got records, he's got posters, he's got clothing, books, tons of other things, toys, and then of course antique stuff, like different furniture and stuff. But he's liquidating most of his stuff, and he won't be around too much longer. So I might go back next week for April. Hopefully, I'll pick up some good stuff. But in the meantime, I was digging through his records, and I hit like the children's section, and come across these picture discs, and they're all size like 45 RPMs, and I'm like, he has prices of $2 to $3 on each of these, and I'm like, I think might be worth it, and of course he's going to give a discount because he's liquidating his stuff. So I got a stack here. Retail, I think, added up to $29. He gave it to me for $15. I'm going to start with, as soon as I saw these, there's 7 of them in here. He's got these little sleeves, but they're Fruit Loops, Toucan Sam. These are from, I believe, 1983. I don't know if they came in, I don't think they were in the cereal box. I'm assuming that you would mail away for them, but I got 1 of these. There's 7 total. I got 3 of these, which says Toucan Sam takes you on a listening safari, and there's 3 of these, the Toucan Sam workout. And so I paid about $2.50 for 7 records, and I'm thinking, even at $3 a piece, I'm considering keeping a set for myself. Of course, I always want stuff. Anyway, so that was like a newer thing. I saw it said there's 7 of them in there, $5. He gives me a deal. I'm going to take them. The rest of these, or pretty much the rest of them, are dated, I think, 1948. Some of these might not be, from the collection or something. They're all songs that you would have sang when you were a little kid. So this one, I'm going to skip for a second. So something familiar. There's 2 sides, and the art is what drew me to them, and the price also is what drew me to them. Of course, the price. They're cardboard. Again, they're picture discs. So this one says Musical Tales. They're dated. I mean, they're numbered. But I was looking on online, and I've seen them as low as $3 to $5 based on beat up condition, to as high as somebody asking maybe $20. But again, I paid $1.50 for each of these. So here, I got one that's 10 Little Indians, and it says A Frog Went a Walking. Now, I'd love to listen to these because I've never heard of A Frog Went a Walking. You sing certain songs when you're a kid. Nowadays, these kids wouldn't know what these songs are. So this one was cool. It's called Take a Little Peek, and it's got kids dancing and stuff. And then on the other side, it says called the Kerry Dance, and it looks like Dutch kids. Or if your name is Kerry, you could do the Kerry Dance. I'm going to show each one because, like I said, I only made 2 purchases. So 3 little kittens. I just think these things are cool. That's why I wanted to show them. And it's called, and of course, Skip to My Lou. Lou, Skip to My Lou. All right. We'll move on to another one. The Little Mountain Climber. I thought this was, yeah, this one's actually dated 1948. The Little Mountain Climber. Never heard this song. Thought it was pretty cool looking. And then the other side is Round and Round the Village. I also never heard of this one before. And, you know, kids always playing their little games with the hopscotch. Oops. Figured out where this sleeve went. I'm taking them out of the sleeves because it's easier to see. I don't want the reflection from. So here's one you'll notice. You'll remember. Working on the railroad. I've been working on the railroad. And then this one, the Erie Canal. I don't remember this song at all. But, you know, is like I said, it's cool. This, and I don't think they're all from the same company. They're from different companies. But I pretty much took all of them. Any of these picture discs. Unless he had them, you know, crazy. This one I thought was really cool. It's not in great condition. This one's called The Cat and the Fox. It looks like it's got some foxing. Get it? Ha ha ha. Foxing. The other side I thought looked even better. Sort of reminded me of Disney with the Snow White Queen witch there, even though she's not in black, but it sort of reminded me. And of course, this is called The Woman Who Pecked. The Beggar and the Woman Who Pecked. Never heard of it, but like I said, it's not in the greatest condition, but I just think these are cool. Put them up for display. Sometimes, you know, people buy something that's got to be mint or something. And it's funny because he actually had a Disney, the Mouseketeers. I don't know what the record was from the 50s, but it was sealed. He had it priced at $50, so. The Muffin Man. And if you've ever watched Shrek, they always say the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. I think it was from Shrek. And then The Farmer in the Dell is another one. Stand in a circle and start out with the farmer in the center, and then he grabs, pulls into the circle. I don't want to start sounding terrible. His wife, then the kid, and then you start taking the dog and the cat, and then, of course, the cheese stands along. This one I've never heard of. Hippity Hop Bunny. But again, just the art on these things are cool. And for $1 or $2. And, of course, Pop Goes the Weasel. The Weasel Goes Pop. And then I got, I think, 2 more. One of them, and this one's a little worn, but this is a religious one. But it was just so cool looking. Actually, it's not that worn. Joy to the World with the angel. And then on the other side is It Came Upon the Midnight Clear, also with angels. Trying to get a better angle. This one's a little, almost like glossy on the surface, so you can see it. And then the last one I grabbed was, it's French. And I guess it's The Little Mermaid. It says La Petite Sirene. Sirene, something like that. But this one's a little bigger for my hand. But you see the Little Mermaid on the thing. And then, again, the other side, it has the same title. And it looks like she looks more like a hag. The sea hag or something. Mermaid sea hag. And she's holding a frog. So that was my first purchase. This was 2 weeks ago. And like I said, I don't know if it's a steal, but I actually think it was a deal. At $1.50 a record, for something that's, 70 years old, 80 years old. No, that's not quite 80, but it's 70 plus years old. I think it's well worth it. So the biggie. Let me take a little drink here. Mornings always kill me, I say. All right. Yesterday, if you remember last month, I showed you, I showed you those Atom comic books. I had bought like 30 comics. I paid $40 and I wasn't too happy. This one I'm a little happier with. Same guy. This time he's got a long box. It's probably about 85% filled. Almost nothing is bagged or boarded. It's pretty much all 70s, almost all 70s, and 80s. I'm looking through, I pull out a stack this big, 17 books. And I said, how much do you want for these? Or maybe I offered him $40 or something. And he said, I don't want to sell comics individually. You have to buy the whole box. And he says, I'm a wholesaler. He goes to these estates, I guess. He's got a lot of good stuff. I mean, he's got bronze statues, stamps, coins. I mean, he's got a ton of stuff. And he just sets up outside. Like I said, every time with the flea market, I'm going there and everybody usually has 90% of the same stuff. So chances of me finding it, I went there because I asked another dealer who was supposed to bring comics last month. He didn't bring it. I bought one comic from him. He had some Disneys, but I don't know what my wife is missing. So he has them priced at like $8, even if I can get them for $5 a piece. I don't know if it was worth it. So I just bought one comic book from that guy. But the guy with the long box says, I want to get $450 for the box. And I had tried to finagle getting these 17 books. I offered him 50, then I offered him 75. I even went up to 100. And he just wasn't budging. He's like, I want it all. It's all or nothing. So $450, I said, no way. And so he's like, look, I'll drop it to 400. I said, no way. I said, I don't have that kind of money. So I knew exactly what I had in my wallet. He goes down to 350, and I said, I asked him 200 and 250, and no, I can't do it. I'm going to lose money. These people always say that. I wouldn't doubt he paid $50 or $100 for the whole box. So when they say they're losing money, don't believe them. That's what the whole thing about negotiating is. Retail stores usually can't, unless they're antique stores. You can play around with money all the time. We went out different places yesterday, and you just bargain. The worst they could say is no, and the best you can do, or worst you can do rather, best that you could do is get the stuff, but the worst you can do is just walk away. So finally I told him, he's like, well, you go to ATM. And I told him, I said, look, I have like 40,000 books. And he goes, now you can have 40,300. He thought that was 300, but the box wasn't filled. So I know there wasn't quite 300, maybe 275. So I count my wallet. I have $294. He says $300. I said, look, I don't have 300. I said, I have 294. I pulled out all my money. I showed him my empty wallet. And I said, look, I'll do the 294 if you take it. So I was almost about to walk away, and he decided to take it. So there's I'm going to call it somewhere in between a deal and a steal. If I would have gotten the 17 books for like $50, that would have been a steal. But and I'm going to show you why. I pulled a stack. It's somewhere around 30 books. And some of these, like I said, they're all 70s and 80s. But you're going to see why. I pulled out some. There were a lot of 70s, actually more like 1980s Hulks. I thought I might have needed some. I think I needed 2. High 200s. He didn't have the Rocket Raccoon. I was like, I'm actually missing that book. So I wanted that in there. It wasn't in there. But I pulled out the He-Mans, the Masters of the Universe. He had issues 3, 4, and 6. So here's number 3. Number 4. Now I'm going to talk about these when I get to I'm probably not going to remember everything by the time I hit the 80s. So I'm going to say this now just in case. They call them picture frames. It's the 1 month where Marvel took all their titles, and I'll show you another one in a second, and put the superheroes as a frame around the center drawing. And I think this is Hordak. These books are hot. And again, condition, most of these are mid-grade, some are low-grade, but the 80s stuff, a lot of it's high-grade. The problem I had, and I wasn't too happy with, is some of these had bags, no boards, but they had tape, and some of the tape was sticking to the comics without the bag behind it. I pulled out this All-Star Squadron. He had a ton of All-Star Squadrons in there. That's another one. And the Master of Kung Fu, which I told you last month when I had that little stack of 30 from him, there was some Master of Kung Fu I was probably going to cut up for ads, the Atari ads and stuff. So I might just do the same thing with these, especially if they're not anywhere near a 9.4. The reason why I pulled out this All-Star Squadron, and I don't know if it's just in some copies or all copies, but Overstreet does not list this or separate it out. This has the He-Man preview in the centerfold. I think there were 2 or 3 books. So I didn't look this up, but I know this book is going. Yeah, it says extra free 16-page comic preview, Masters of the Universe. So for He-Man collectors out there, those previews are like super hot. I'm going to show you this one too. Here's the Thor. It's the only other picture frame that was in there. And again, this might not be worth a lot of money, but they're starting to. If you get 9/8 on a lot of these picture frame books, I wouldn't doubt you're getting at least 75 to 100 for them. I pulled this book out. He actually only had 2 copies of the Legends miniseries, but he had the first, I think this is his first Cosmic Boy or something. This was a hot book. And, you know, it's still selling, even if it's like $15, $20. So I pulled out some. I left some over there because I didn't have like I said, I didn't have all these bags and boards, but these aren't boarded. Frankenstein's Monsters. He had I don't know, maybe about 10 issues. So I got 9 here. They're all high numbers. He didn't have a 1. 12 here, and then 13, and then 14, and 16, and 18. And even if these only went for $5 a piece, I have 10 of them. You know, that's $50. That's, you know, 1/6 of my money back. But I'm not even counting. I'm going to show you exactly where I'm going to make my money back. So Marvel superheroes. Some of these are pretty beat. There's 15, and these have picked up a lot, the prices. 16 I have here with Phantom Eagle. This actually has some tape residue on the front. I'm going to try to clean it up. Here's a biggie, and I said this during my Silver Age Marvel Black Knight. It's beat maybe a 2.5. It's got a big split on the cover. So, but again, even if I can get $10 for this, which probably I get more than that, but I'm going to leave things to auction versus selling outright probably for some of this stuff. The Kazar issue, and I was very happy with this. And the Doctor Doom issue. So what else he had, and it's weird because somebody must have just liked this one title, Jack Kirby verse, 1970s. He had probably about 2/3 of the Miracleman series. Now this again is beat up. It's got a big split. What are you gonna do? But again, if I got $10 for this, who cares? It's easy money. So I had number 1, of course. Oops, don't want to drop my books, else I'm getting less money. Number 2 is Granny Goodness, and I probably, again, if I'm not talking about it during the era, because I'll talk about Kirbyverse, but you know, again, all the number 1s and stuff. This is going to be the stuff when I hit the Bronze Age and the 80s age. I'm not going to call it Copper. I'm just going to call it 80s. Number 3, this wasn't perfect. Oh no, this is 3 that was perfect. This one, I think, was, I can't remember if this one wasn't that great. First Big Barda. And again, I pulled out some Mr. Miracles. And so I'm just going to go. This is the last one of Mr. Miracle I'm going to show you. Again, I have a stack over there that I just pulled out that I didn't have enough bags and boards. So, Amazing Adventures. The Inhumans. Now, he didn't have 1. He actually only started with 5. So I got number 5. And the Inhumans, again, They had their TV show. It was a flop. Here's 7. So the books are sort of active. But again, who cares if I get $5 a piece? Is Black Bolt in Amazing Adventures number 9. And then I have Inhumans number 1, which I've sold that before a while ago when I only had 1 copy of that. There's number 2. And there's other Inhumans. They had a decent run in there. Again, whether or not $5 a piece. So I'm down to my last 3 books. This one I thought was good. I already have 1, but now I have 2. Black Lightning number 1. He had his own TV show. Book went up. I don't know if it's really selling much anymore, but again, if you price it right, you'll sell it. But these were the 2 biggies that sold me, and this is what I tried. I pulled them out, and I wanted to, try to get them as the steal and without buying the whole box, because now I got a whole box of stuff I have to go through and store and whatever. I didn't really want them, or maybe I'll just dump them for $1 a piece in some garage sale. But anyway, these are the 2. These 2 themselves should make up my $294. Marvel Feature 1, as soon as I saw it, took it out. Again, they're not perfect, but can I get 75 easy for this? 75 to 100 probably in the condition it's in. And then this is the big one. For some reason, I didn't talk about this when I did the Marvel Silver Age. So here you go. Marvel Superheroes 13, Captain Marvel. Now, this book I see all the time. This guide's high. And when I say high, it's several thousand. But guide in VG, I think, was like 300, somewhere like that. If I can get 200 for this book, which I think it's probably a 3.5 VG minus. If I get 200 for this book and 75 to 100 for this, and even 25 for this, there's my $300. And then everything else is free. And I could sell for anything. I could cut them up, sell the ads, put them on, sell them for half price, whatever it is, that'll be pure profit. So that's my deals and steals for March. I'm sorry it wasn't as exciting maybe as other times. All right. I should have not ended. I forgot something that I bought it was like a week and a half ago. It came in the mail. And I did pick up something small today. So I'm just extending this for about another 5 minutes. A little thing I bought today. Salt and pepper shakers of Pillsbury Doughboy and Mrs. Pillsbury Doughboy, Doughgirl. It says made in Taiwan. She has a little wear. He doesn't. I paid $2 for the pair. Probably can get 12 to 15. I never probably mentioned my mother. Here we go. The stupid camera's moving. My mother is a big collector of salt and pepper shakers. So, I'll fix this. I'm not going to stop it. Screw it. Okay. Anyway, so she's got, 1,000 sets of salt and pepper shakers. She was collecting since I was little. The other thing I had picked up, there were 5 Atari boxes. And yes, boxes. No games. The first 2 had instruction manuals. I paid $18 for the 5. And that sounds a lot, almost like $4 a box for empty boxes, but it is what it is. So I have tons of cartridges I could just marry. So here, Real Sports Volleyball, rather common. The box isn't that bad. The boxes are actually pretty nice. So maybe I get $9 or $10 for that when I put a game in it. Bowling, again, pretty nice box, and I can't read what the price tag says, but again, maybe $10 for it. This I never had. I have the game. I have the box, but not this version. I never had this version. This is Pele Soccer. This is the first release, standard flap and I get to fill in some information on my website on the printer number, the revision number. So there you go. This is a good one. No instruction manual, so I'll have to add that from my stock, add the game from my stock. But River Raid boxed is probably a good $25. So it's tough. And I did mention that when I first started talking about the Atari video games, that River Raid was one of the tougher ones to get. And finally, and this isn't too bad. It's not in the best of shape, but it's actually not too bad. This is a 02 Combat 01 Air Sea Battle original release gatefold box. Notice it's empty. I'll add a manual. I'll add a game and get at least $20 to $25 for it. So when I complete them, my guess is $70, maybe $75 total for $20. All right. So now you can like, share, make comments, subscribe, and tell your friends, family. And I will see you next time. I cut off the other one. So like I said, I'm going to continue the Silver Age comic books, other genres. So we'll see you then.